All right, I'm sorry. You said you wanted to be a jockey. I think you're taller than I am, aren't
Yeah.
you?
I'm 5'11".
You were my height, Pax. Yeah.
So yeah, so I got to be like 5'11", like high school. Like I grew very fast.
Yep.
But yeah, I was like already too tall to be a jockey. It was so sad. And I'm sure Don will laugh at me because 5'11" is not that
Well,
tall to
yeah, but
him, but
Dawn is an Icelandic giant living in England, so
yeah.
we're a tall
Would it
guild.
be?
We have a lot of tall people. I know Don's not in a
Yeah,
guild, but we have a lot of tall people. The community is has height. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, okay, ballerina, nope. Jockey, nope. Astronaut, yes. And so I was like full scale astronaut until like I got in these engineering classes and they just like drained the life out of me. And so I just switched over. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I almost dropped out of school. Thank God I was an honors major, which probably sounds weird, but I had the most amazing advisor who saved me.
That's really good. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I went and had this crazy life-changing experience in Thailand, and I started like just doing a lot of volunteer teaching with new Americans and refugees that were coming over, and it was just like so fun and so fulfilling. And then I started teaching uh, composition, freshman composition at U of M, and wow, the not just the limitations put on me by like signing a contract to teach a certain way and whatnot, but being told, okay, we all have the same four assignments, and this makes it easier, so you can only have these four assignments, like,
Yep.
things like that.
Did you not find that
It's
the
like,
students were also less enthusiastic than like the
oh my
environment you
gosh.
saw in Thailand?
um, it's like like, if there was ever, like, is there a stronger duality than that? I don't know, but I know the
Oh my
stronger
Lord, yeah.
duality than that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I would always say if I got to like one or two kids a semester, it was a success for me. And some of my friends were like, man, I reached like seven or eight kids a semester. I'm like, you were, first off, an easier teacher, and you're talking about just like feelings and shit while I'm teaching philosophy. But that's a whole different story. But like seriously, like
Mm-hmm.
I have I have students that I will always remember. Some of them because I fucked up for them. Some of them because I like made a difference in their lives.
What?
And I fucked up a couple of times on students, and I learned lessons and got better. We're not going to share those stories. That's a little too much for me. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's students that I've heard later. Like, they said to an old friend of mine, like I remember this like lecture he gave at the first beginning of class, and I don't even remember teaching that person, let alone giving that lecture. So like that's really amazing. But that's one in like 30. You know, and it was
Well, that's why they
heartbreaking.
have multiple teachers, right? Like, you
I
can't
guess.
teach to everyone.
But
You
there's
have very
no
high
love
standards for
for,
yourself.
but like it's not even for me. I think there's a fundamental problem, and I think it is what you hit on in the beginning, where there's like a problem with uh
No, yeah.
our
The structure that
institutional way.
you're, yeah.
Yeah, and it just saps them of joy, and it saps them of interest. And I tried to teach them how to like read and productively read and take notes and just like think
Oh,
about
you
what this guy is
renegade.
saying. Well, you're a writing center teacher, so I mean, you already had an
Oh,
uphill
yeah.
battle. God, writing is terrible
Hey,
for
but you
kids.
know what? Do you know what's amazing? Agency. And everyone that came there, except if maybe there's a couple of them who got extra credit just for coming or something,
Hmm.
aside from them, everyone who came there chose to come there.
That is
They
nice.
walked through that door because they wanted to ask for help and to see what was happening. And that changed everything, right? I will
Yeah.
never forget my first composition class. And I have to say this, I'm very, very biased, and it's just my lived reality. But I love international students, and I would gladly jump at teaching all the international students in a class than having all the American students in the class because it was just a huge culture shock for me. Like You'll laugh at this. My very first class when I was teaching hall, I I had this PowerPoint or something, I'm like fancy with my PowerPoint
Mm-hmm.
skills. And
Yep.
I'm like, we're doing critical thinking, and I'm like, in the first few minutes, I'm like, I think I mentioned Che Guevara and like the difference between Sunni and Shiite Muslims. And like, no one in the class had any
Any
idea
idea?
what I
Yeah.
was, no idea, right?
Yeah.
Like, the first comp, one of the very first comp papers I read was we had to give them a personal essay first, which is like the absolute worst thing to give someone to write, in my opinion. Most
Mm-hmm.
people have no idea what they think about themselves, let alone their ideas when like a
Or
freshman.
or have an ability to like write it out in any sort of coherent form.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the first paper I read was about a gentleman who had had a hunting experience that he was quite proud of. It was, I think, maybe 3 pages in one paragraph. But aside from that, he was like in his deer stand, and the tension mounted. He shot as the deer approached. I don't know what was wrong with this deer that it kept walking towards the gun that was shooting at it and missing, but it kept walking towards the tree stand because it was very confused. He kept trying to shoot it. He kept trying to shoot it. Like it went on, and then finally it was like feet away, and he shot deer. And I think there was I counted just because I have to play games sometimes to get through some of the essays.
Yep.
There was two complete sentences in that entire paper.
Oh
And
man. And it was 3 pages in one paragraph?
yeah, and
Wow.
I was like, wow, this is like a reckoning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't blame that student. Like we had the football coaches recruiting students that couldn't read. They maybe had like a third grade reading level.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and it's not their fault that they're thrown in a comp class and being asked to write a personal essay on
No, no,
something
it's a
that's like
definite failure of their
transformed their
system.
life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I
Um,
It was hard for me to separate that. Like, it's not your fault that you can't read these, 3 pages and get any idea of what's going on about it. Like, obviously, someone failed in teaching you that, but for real, you should know how to do that. And it was hard for me not to be able to not to hold that against students sometimes. It was very hard for me not to do that. I'm not proud of that or anything like that. It's just
you
it's hard because like they do it all the time, right? Like, I guess maybe they
yeah.
don't. I don't know. Um hold on, there's like drama in the chat now. Why are you guys having drama in the chat? Just
Is there
stop
drama?
stop being
Okay.
dramatic about stuff. Just
We're in
have fun.
general buddy things. I'm just
Yeah.
like loving concentrating on your voice. So I'm not really paying
Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, I try to keep I'm bad at this hosting gig. I shouldn't style myself as a host, but I think in my head I want to be like some sort of host.
Ooh, John knew who Che Guevara was. My cat's name is Che Catvera.
Shake.
It comes from a long line of wonderful other cat friends. Cleocatra was another his sister. They got adopted, and there was another one that was really funny. Oh, Chairman Meow, of course. That was
Oh, although that's a kind of a horrible person to name a cat after. I guess
I
because
was
these are
very
cats.
impressed, not impressed. I was very obsessed with all things China. I went to China and taught for like um, I think it was like 6 or 7 summers. So I was like all about China, everything, philosophy and religion and history, and it's
Yeah.
really
Say, where did you
fascinated
go
by it.
in
Wow.
China? Did we talk about it? Have I told you that I've been to China? Have we talked about that?
I don't think so. I got to teach primarily in Hangzhou, but I also um, did some journeying up through northern Thailand to southern China, and then over into central China, like Qing, um, where There's like, oh man, I was so close to Tibet and I was just dying to be in Tibet. Tibetan culture is absolutely fascinating. But then I went over across, not all the way up north to like Mongolia, but a little ways, and I never made it up to near like North Korea, but I always wanted to go like where the connections are up there too. So I still have some places to go, but yeah, and then central, like jumping around and whatnot between Beijing and Shanghai and whatnot. Where
Yeah,
were you?
so I went only to Beijing and Shanghai. We did a day in Suzhou. And I was only there for like 10 days on a spring break trip, but I
That's
did my
fun.
it was life transforming. When I got back, my
Ooh.
my friends gave me shit about being China Doc. They would say my name, my actual name, China Man, because like, oh, China Doc was such a fun guy and had such a good experience, and now we get stuck with regular Doc. And um,
Oh, wow. Feedback. Thanks, folks.
yeah, yeah, it was not always the healthiest relationships that I've been in. But no, like China, oh, also might have been a douche, who knows? But like China was the first time I was out of the country. Um, I had been studying Chinese religions for like a year and a half, and we went and we
Yay.
just like saw all this stuff, and we went to these
Mm,
temples, and we ate the food, and we saw historical sites, but mostly it was the temples, like, and it was just an amazing,
mm-hmm.
amazing experience. That, yeah, I want to go back. My wife refuses to visit because of the government, and
Oh,
I'm fully on board
oh.
with not supporting that government. And it's a shame because I actually have a couple of really good friends in China that I'd like to go see, and I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to visit them. I'm really hoping there's some sort of change there in the next decade or two so I can get there and see it. But I'm you hit on capitalism, and we're going to have to end this after at this 15-minute period because I have to go cut up tomatoes for tomato soup. Which is
Oh, you and
yeah.
your tomato soup. That sounds so yum.
I will post pictures all day tomorrow. I'm very
Yay.
excited. But like I am not all about this unfettered capitalism. But I'm also not about a single party socialist communist government. And what they are doing over there is scary as shit to me. And that's not to say that what's happening here isn't scary as shit, but I can say what's happening here is scary as shit to me, and I'm okay with it because I know I'm not going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I also want to visit Iran. I want to take a train through
Mm.
Iran, which is like $20,000 a ticket. Not that
Oh,
I've priced it, but
why is it so expensive? I took a train all the way across China. It was awesome.
oh, I love trains. I want to go.
Except it's just like a little disconcerting to pee into a hole and see the track underneath. Other than that, it was
There were
totally
a lot of
just
disconcerting
awesome.
bathroom experiences I had in China.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you like completely reconfigure your understanding of like what is
yeah.
acceptable toilet condition.
Yes, yes, yes. Do you know those like I always see them on meat lockers, but those like big plastic strips that like hang in front of doors? Do you know what I'm
For
talking about?
flies? Yeah, for flies.
Yeah.
Oh no, you mean to just like block out the air and they like seal together so that they have an air barrier?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thailand
there were
has those.
China had one of those in some touristy thing, and there was like a kid, like a 3-year-old kid, sitting there just licking them up and down for a full 10 minutes. I watched him just lick and it was between them and a bathroom. I'm like, kid, that is the dirtiest thing to be licking. His immune system is going to be amazing.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
yeah. But I'm going to stop the recording because we're there. Did you want to say any final words or goodbyes, Pax?
Oh, this was so fun. I'm sad it's ending,
Well,
but it was wonderful. Thank you for inviting me.
I am very appreciative of you taking the time. And I'm going to stop the recording now, but we can still chat for a little bit here. But thank you very much, Pax. It's been a pleasure to have you. And thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll put the videos up as soon as I have them. So
Yay.